Hello chess fans and welcome to Chess 5, and today I'm going to show you the game between Nepomniachtchi versus Levon Aronian, and this game is from the Grand Chess to Paris 2021 Rapid, and this is the round number 5. This game was played recently, a couple of minutes before, and I have decided to show you this game because this game is too epic. I think you're going to like this game. And all those who don't know who is Nepomniachtchi has qualified for the World Chess Championship to challenge Magnus Carlsen for the World Chess Champion title. So okay, it still have days to come. So without any further ado, let's dive into this game. So Nepomniachtchi with the white pieces and Levon Aronian with the black pieces. So Nepomniachtchi started with 1 c4 and Levon Aronian replied with knight to f6. Here comes knight to f3, e6, g3, d5, bishop to g2. Here comes d into c4, capturing up the pawn, and here it's like a Catalan variation where white gave up the c4 pawn, and the idea of giving up the c4 pawn is now the bishop on g2 is very open and white eventually captures the c4 pawn. After d into c4, white decided to play queen to a4 check, and in the next move he's going to grab the c4 pawn. So here comes bishop to d7, queen into c4. Here's c5 by Levon Aronian, covering this center square. So here comes knight to e5, giving no time to Levon Aronian. Here the bishop on g2 is attacking the b7 pawn, and the knight is also very well placed on e5. So here black played queen to c8. It's a very dull move, but it's the best move. So after queen to c8, the queen is protecting the bishop on d7 as well as the pawn on b7, and as well as protecting the pawn on c5. So queen c8 is a very nice move. So after queen c8, white played b3, preparing to play the bishop on b2. Here comes knight to c6, and here comes knight into d7. Here white is having option to capture the knight and the bishop, so he decided to capture the bishop. Here comes queen into d7, bishop to b2, and here we can see both the bishop on b2 and g2 is very nicely placed because it's an open position. So I think white is very nice in this position. So after bishop to b2, Levon Aronian played bishop to e7, preparing to castle, and also the long castle option is also there. But here comes short castle by Nepomniachtchi. Here comes rook to c8, rook to d1, perhaps planning to open up the position with d4. So here Levon Aronian castle. Here comes knight to c3, a6, perhaps planning to play b5 and getting a very large space on the queen side. So white plays rook to c1, developing all his pieces now. So black played b5, hitting the queen on c4. So here comes queen to f4, h6. h6 is a nice move because in the future there would be no back rank issues because now the h10 square is also there, and by playing h6, black is also covering the g5 square. So white plays d3, perhaps planning to play knight to e4 in the future and creating a bit of a pressure on the c5 pawn. So after d3, black played rook to d8, and by playing rook to d8, black has also successfully developed all his pieces. So after rook to d8, white played queen to d2 back. Now the idea of playing queen to d2 is, many of you were thinking that why he's just moving queen so many times. The idea of playing queen to d2 is, first of all, black is perhaps trying to play queen d6 and attacking the f4 queen. That's why white have decided to grab the queen back to d2, and perhaps he's planning to play perhaps e3, d4, trying to open up the position, or he can go even for the e4, e5 and then d4. There are many stuff for white in this position. So after queen to d2, black played queen to a7. The idea of queen to a7 is very interesting. The idea of playing queen to a7 is black is preparing to play c4 in the future, and there would be a great attack on f2 pawn as well as the king on g1. Perhaps black can play knight to g4, some attack on the f2 pawn, or perhaps he could sacrifice the knight on f2 also, if white would be not careful. So after queen to a7, white played e3. Yep, because now after knight g4, after c4, there is nothing to worry about, because there is a pawn on e3, and the pawn on e3 is protected by both pawn and the queen. So after e3, black decided to play queen to b6, and white played queen to e2. Here knight to b4. Here playing a3, kicking the knight from the b4 square. Here comes knight to d5, maneuvering the knight from the c6 square to d5. Here white played knight into d5, knight into d5, and here Nepomniachtchi decided to open up the position with d4. So after d4, black is having a couple of options. He can take the pawn, he can push the pawn, many options. So after playing d4, black decided to play knight to f6. Nice move. Here comes d into c5. Here black is having too many options. He can grab the rook, he can grab the pawn, many options are there. So after d into c5, black decided to play rook into d1 check. Rook into d1, bishop into c5, and it's a slightly better position for white, because the bishop on g2 as well as the bishop on b2 is very nice of white. That's why white is having an edge in this position. So after bishop into c5, white decided to play bishop into f6, g into f6, and now after playing g into f6, white played queen to h5. And now we can see the black is having a very bad pawn structure, a very isolated pawns. So black is going to face some issues. After queen to h5, black played a blunder move, which is bishop into a3, and this is also a very natural move. Perhaps not the natural move. Perhaps many of the players perhaps even play king to g7 to protect the h6 pawn. But here, after g into h6, white decided to play queen to h5, attacking the pawn on h6. Here after queen to h5, black played bishop into a3, which was a blunder. At the place of playing bishop into a3, black should have played bishop to e7. The idea of playing bishop to e7 is, after white captures the pawn on h6, black is going to play queen to c7. Here comes a4, trying to exchange a couple of pawns. Here black plays rook to d8, going for an rook trade. Here white plays queen to h5, protecting the d1 rook. Rook into d1 check, queen into d1. Here comes b into a4, b into a4. Here comes f5, bishop f1, attacking the pawn on a6. So black pushes the pawn to a5. Here comes h4, and this position is slightly better for white, but okay, it's a playable position, not too much worry, because although white is a pawn up, but it's still a draw, because black it's an opposite color bishop. That's why 90% of the games led to a draw. So after queen to h5, Levon Aronian should have gone bishop e7, but at the place of playing bishop to e7, he decided to grab a pawn bishop into a3, which looks a natural move, but it's a blunder, because now comes the best move by Nepomniachtchi, which is rook to d7. Here the plan of playing rook to d7 is, now white is threatening to take on f7. So black plays a usual move, rook f8, and this is the best move. So white decided to play bishop to e4. Wow, I mean wow. Here there are two ideas for white in this position. First idea is, obviously many of you were thinking to capture the pawn on h6, and there's a mate on h7. And the second brilliant idea, because that's why Nepomniachtchi played bishop e4, is now white is planning to play the bishop on g6. Wow. Because if black somehow plays a5, here comes bishop to g6. Wow, really? Here black cannot capture the bishop on g6, because after queen into g6, king h8, queen into g7 is a checkmate. And even Black doesn't capture the bishop. Bishop is going to capture the pawn, and black cannot defend the pawn on f7. There is a triple attack, and soon this is a 5-move checkmate. That's why after bishop to e4, black decided to play a very natural move, which is f5, hitting the bishop on e4. And here white played an impressive move. Feel free to pause the video and try to find the best move for white in this position. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Okay, so to those who have found the right move, congratulations on finding the one and only winning move for white, which is queen into h6, and this move was played in the game. Wow. I mean really wow. Here the white is prepared to give the bishop on e4. And here black is not having nothing to do, because so you have to capture the bishop on e4, and this was played in the game. And here comes the real deal. Feel free to pause the video and try to find again the best move for white in this position. Okay, so to those who have found the right move, congratulations on finding one only single winning move. If you have found this, really, it's too amazing. Rook d5. If you have found this move, man, you are a real genius. You're a true genius. The idea of playing rook d5 is here the pawn cannot capture the rook because the queen is hanging on b6. And the second idea is here white is planned to play rook to g5, and this is a checkmate. And if even black plays bishop to e7, here the rook cannot come to g5, but here comes rook to h5, and this is a one move checkmate. Black cannot stop the checkmate. Okay, so after rook to d5, it's completely winning position for white, but still, although this is completely winning position for white and black is totally losing this game, but still, feel free to pause the video and try to find the best move for black in this position, which was played in the game. Okay, so to those who have found the right move, who have found all three right moves, congratulations. I think your level is around GM, perhaps. At least 2300. Queen into e3. Amazing. Total amazing. The idea of playing queen into e3 is now the queen is attacking the queen on h6, and the e6 pawn is also attacking the rook on d5. Too amazing. Although white is completely winning this position, but finding queen into e6 is too amazing. This is the best move. Here, although white took the queen, here comes e into d5, and if black plays perfect chess, but then perhaps black could let it drop, because there's a queen versus rook and bishop, and there are games which have been led to a draw, but black have to play very perfect. But although white is Nepomniachtchi, he's also a GM, he's not going to just let win this go. So after e into d5, this is complete winning position, but a couple of more moves were played. Here comes queen to g5 check, king to h8, queen into d5, f5, queen to d4 check, king to g8. Here comes b4. The idea of playing b4 is now the bishop on a3 is trapped, somewhat trapped. Here comes bishop to c1, here comes queen to b6, perhaps planning to capture the pawn on a6. So black plays rook to f7, queen into a6, here comes e3, perhaps plan to do something, trying to open up the position and making weak. But here Nepomniachtchi simply gave queen c8 check, and with a check the bishop is lost on c1. So that's why after move number 38, Levon Aronian with the black pieces resigned the game, and Nepomniachtchi with the white pieces won the game. Man, this game, I think this game is the best game played in 2021. It's a too fantastic game. I love this game too much. If you also love this game, then please like to my video and tell me if this game is the best game played in 2021 in the comment box. So guys, I will come with these new videos for you. I think this game was too amazing. Too amazing. Although both players played very well, but Nepomniachtchi is the winner. So obviously he found the two amazing moves. Too amazing. I loved it. So if you like this game, then please like to my video. If you are new to my channel, then please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and bye bye.